Before I start, make sure to learn the Eager Edge movement. It saves time and is really effective for any solo flawless dungeon, as you'll be using it throughout the entire dungeon. I can quickly explain how to do it at the end of the video if you're interested. So at the beginning, you go into Eager Edge to the cave. You're going to use Sunshot, Graviton, anything with incandescent, whatever clears the cave really quickly. Usually 3 cave triggers is enough to move on into the next encounter. I highly recommend Strand with Grapple just to be a bit more safe during the jumping sections. Once you're in, you're just gonna Eager Edge through the gap in the center. Make sure to not Eager Edge too close to the Shrieker, else you'll lock on and you'll probably fall to your death. Ignore the Exploder and just keep Eager Edging. When you get to the doors, you're gonna open the first door on your left, on the right, and then you're gonna either jump on the side or Eager Edge through, in and out. And then for the next lever, when you're going to go for the tunnel, you're going to want to jump on the left side. So you're going to fall through the desk and then just Eager Edge or fly in, pull the lever. And then to get out, you're just going to want to jump around the platform and Eager Edge back to the tunnel. Once you're back, you're going to want to use Mountaintop. Just blast yourself up into the first tunnel on the left to save a bunch of time, or climb around if you don't have it. Once you're in, you're going to Mountaintop up again and Eager Edge across all the traps. Once you're there, you're going to activate the first lever, and here you're going to want to Eager Edge right at the end into the left tunnel that's behind the fence. You're going to want to use the Titan shoes for extra glide, Rising Heat on your Warlock, or Grapple on your Hunter. And when you're going to Eager Edge, you're going to want to swing your sword again without Eager Edge buff to cancel momentum and direct yourself into the tunnel. Activate the second lever. And then you're gonna wanna kill the Shrieker. You can Eager Edge across if you want, but it will lock on. So just kill the Shrieker with a grenade launcher or a grenade. Ideally Mountaintop if you have it equipped already. And then Eager Edge across, pull the lever, then Eager Edge again back again, and through the door. And then keep Eager Edging until you get to the wizards. So here you want to keep Eager Edging around the platforms, but try and kill the wizards first to prevent any accidental lock on with your Eager Edge to not fall and die like I have many times. When you pull the first lever, the next door will be always the opposite from the door you've just activated with the lever. That way you can speed up it really quickly. For the barrel, you're going to want to run up the stairs. And you're going to want to hide into the second hole on the right. That will give you enough time for the barrel to drop down, and then make your way to the Ogre by just constantly Eager Edging. The first encounter is Ogre. Very easy. 2 phase possible, or even 1 on Titan. 25 engrams are needed to start damage. I recommend 2 Void resistance mods, as the Ogre will melt you on the way to the crystal if you're unlucky. The quick way to open doors is just to shoot the cannon and wait for the first ping. After the first ping, let go and then shoot at it right after. That's going to save you a bunch of time. And 3 doors is enough to get enough engrams to start damage. Make sure to juggle the cannon from door to door. That way it won't despawn and you get to the boss really easy. If you fail to open the door in time whilst the engram debuff is going to run out and kill you potentially, save the acolytes on the left side of the arena when you enter to pick up the engrams and save yourself. And then try and open the door again. For damage, overtime damage works best from my experience. So Anarchy, Lost Signal, Wither Horde, and then just spam your abilities right after. It will usually stun the Ogre quite often, or Edge Transit, or even that Moth Grenade Launcher with the Arc Heavy Grenade Launcher from Revenant. Everything works fine here. Or Apex Predator. For Warlock, just pop a well. For Titan, use Synthosips, Hunter with Golden Gun, and you're pretty good for damage. Make sure to use the rooms as cover if you're struggling with survivability. After that, you're gonna have a really mini quick traversal. Just keep Eager Edging if you have any heavy ammo left till the Sparrow section. So for this one, you're gonna pull the lever on the left and you're gonna get on your Sparrow immediately. Now this section I highly recommend practicing. Even if you know what you're doing, die right at the end and practice again and again and again, as you only have 1 shot at this. I highly recommend equipping Strand, because at the end you can actually die, so I'll get onto that when I get there. So when you get on the Sparrow, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the right, and there'll be an easy timer for you to pick up. After that, you're going to go down the river under the ship and just drive through the first bump straight for the middle. Then in the first tunnel, you're going to go to the right, keep going, and then you can go left as well to get the second timer, but I realize that's not really necessary. If your Sparrow is smoking, get off and on, that way you're going to recover the full health. Then you're going to want to go for the river, I believe on the left side. This is because if you go through the boxes, your Sparrow gets stuck quite easily. And then in the next open area, you don't want to drive straight, you want to strafe left to right gently because you are going to be in line of fire. After that, you're going to want to drive to the right side, get the timer on the ledge, jump off, and then you're going to want to drive through the left launcher up through the eye to get extra time. And at this point, you're going to get off your Sparrow and you're going to grapple down to the bomb and just walk into the bomb. This is because you accelerate so quickly that you can actually crash and your Sparrow will explode, and then the enemies will probably shoot at you and you will die. This is how I lost my last run. Next encounter is the pirate camp encounter. Now this is a very boring encounter that tricks you into speeding through it. Don't. You can Eager Edge through it with Mountaintop, as some camps are quite easily accessible as they're quite next to each other, but I would still recommend using the launcher and just launch yourself from camp to camp because it is random which one's first. The added density here isn't too bad, just Sintelsips Titan, Hunter with that as well, or Sunbracer's Warlock, and you'll be fine. If you're struggling with survivability, just use Red Death and a shotgun for the servitors and you'll be fine. Just remember to dunk all the engrams to prevent random deaths. So this leads you to the final encounter. Now do not underestimate this boss. He doesn't have much HP, but the arena is quite open and brutal as you can get shot from every direction. 60 engrams are needed to start damage in the middle. In the beginning, kill the 2 elites really quickly with your super, spam supers on them. Every 10 engrams you get a super, so for resistances you're going to want to use 2 solar 1 arc. Don't be pressured by the timer on the engrams. The timer resets every time you pick up a new one. I highly recommend running between 2 areas, like left and middle or right and middle for the engrams. 3 rotations is usually enough. Make sure to run with the cannon to not lose it. Again, make sure to shoot once at the engine, wait for the ping, let it go, and then shoot at it again to speed up the process. For damage, I recommend standing on the left side of the boss, that way you have cover of around 90% from all the mobs. You can get shot from the right, but this area makes it quite forgiving. You're going to want to strafe left to right to avoid damage from the boss, and here the damage is quite short, so you want to use burst damage, such as Edge Transit, or the Moth Grenade Launcher, or Apex Predator with the Horde, and then just keep spamming abilities, something that you can just shoot and then forget. So this you're going to want to use burst supers such as Twilight Arsenal, Thunder Crash, Nova, or well, for Hunter, Golden Gun, or the Stasis super. These are quite good supers because they also provide survivability on top of damage, so it's not that bad. It may take 2-3 damage phases, but as long as you strafe, you're in damage to avoid gunfire, and you juggle the cannon, you easily beat this boss. And that's it for the dungeon, nice and straightforward. I tried to make this guide as simple as possible and straight to the point. I hope you enjoy this guide, and now get that solo flawless grasp of Avarice completion. And now I'll show you how to do the simple Eager Edge movement if you're interested and still watching at this point. Right, so in order to use the Eager Edge movement, all you're going to want to do is get a sword with the Eager Edge perk. And then whenever you're running towards a direction, just jump, switch to your sword, swing, and then switch to your other weapon, and then glide or jump, and then perform like a bunny hop after, and that's how you perform the Eager Edge movement.